Hello everyone and welcome to another video. The Batman movie is upon us, and to celebrate I wanted to show you my Batman comic books from my collection. Starting off with the first comic book series that I've ever read, here we have the DC Classics reprints of the first 7 issues of the Batman Adventures by Kelly Puckett with art by Ty Templeton. This series captured the animated series' tone and style so perfectly. Issue number 2 was actually the first superhero comic I've ever read, and it instantly grabbed me. Ironically, just as with the actual first series, I'm missing issue number 3 of the reprints also. Don't know how that happened, but still, here we have issue number 4, a great Robin and Scarecrow story arc continued in issue number 5 here. Issue number 6, and finishing up the DC Classics reprints with issue number 7. Great Killer Croc cover here. But we're not done with the Batman Adventures reprints. Here we have the DC Dollar Comics reprints of issue number 12. First appearance of Harley Quinn, I think, in comics. Continuing with the Dollar Comics reprints, here we have Batman 386. Great comic book with the introduction of the Black Mask. Another reprint here for Batman 428, book 3 of the Death in the Family story arc. Minor spoilers on the cover, of course. Reprinting Batman 567, Mark of Cain. Here we have the first appearance of the new Batgirl, a part of the No Man's Land story arc. The DC Comics Dollar Comics reprint of the first issue of Batman Hush. Here we have Batman 608, amazing Jim Lee cover, not the original cover for this issue. This was a new one to coincide and to promote the new trade paperback of this story. Also in the Batman Hush storyline, here we have Batman 613, great Catwoman and Harley Quinn cover. Continuing with the old reprints, here we have Detective Comics starring Batman 554 with for the first time anywhere the all-new Black Canary. Also a great reprint of The Brave and the Bold 197 featuring Batman and Catwoman. A great story. If you haven't read this one, I highly recommend it. Loved it. The Dollar Comics reprint of Batman Shadow of the Bat issue number 1, very 90s style here, definitely different from what we've seen so far, and still a great cover. Just look at this. Another reprint, here we have the first issue of the Batman Huntress miniseries Cry for Blood by Greg Rucka and Rick Burchett. Great miniseries. You cannot go wrong with Greg Rucka on Batman. Also a reprint, but a more recent one. Here we have Batman issue 13 of the new 52 by Snyder and Capullo. Done with Dollar Comics, but we're not done with the reprints. Here we have the facsimile edition for Detective Comics issue 38, the first appearance of Robin the Boy Wonder. I absolutely love these facsimile reprints because they reprint the whole comic book, promotional materials and all. Here we have Detective Comics 359 with the first appearance of the new Batgirl, how we'll get to know her from then on. And another reprint of Detective Comics 475. Here we have a great Joker cover with his trademark laughing fish. Also a reprint of Batman issue 232, a great story by Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams, which also returned for Batman 251, an amazing Joker issue. I absolutely love everything about this. The cover, the story inside, great classic. And finally, we're getting to a more modern series of comics. Here we have the issue 44 of the new Batman series from the Rebirth era. Here we have Tom King doing his whole wedding storyline. Didn't really pan out, but an amazing Joel Jones cover. This is actually the second printing. Even more modern, Batman 92. We are getting into the Tynion era, and this amazing Arkham variant cover of Punchline. And finally, I have Batman 108, another James Tynion the fourth creation, and another Arkham variant cover. Started off this series with the Batman Adventures from the 90s, and here we have the more modern follow-up, Batman The Adventures Continue by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. Of course, Ty Templeton returning on art. The first chapter of this series had 8 issues, and unlike the first series, I actually managed to get all of them. Amazing storylines, great classic characters returning, meeting with some new introductions here. Burnett and Dini combining the original season of the Batman animated series with the newer ones, and doing a great job. Also, the covers here, just amazing work all around. I really enjoyed the first chapter, loved the second chapter, and I hope they continue with a third one. Here we have season 2 of The Adventures Continue. DC is actually putting a lot of stock into the animated series, with the relaunch coming up this year, I hope, and I'm positive we'll get more of these classic stories. Here we have issue number 4 and issue number 6. I'm missing issue number 5, and I think the second season actually ends with issue number 6 here, so I do need to go back and find the 5th issue. We've seen a lot of standard covers, so let's move on to some variants. Here we have Batman Detective Comics issue 1000, huge milestone issue, and DC made sure to celebrate it with a lot of variant covers. I've got 2 done by Stanley Arjam Lau here, and the second one by Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes returning to his Audrey Hepburn Catwoman, absolute perfection. Also, Adam Hughes returning for Detective Comics 1027, another milestone issue and one of the greatest variant covers and covers overall I've seen in my life. I absolutely adore this. Back to back, now we have Artgerm doing the variant cover for Detective Comics 1027. The first time he actually drew a Batwoman cover, so that's pretty nice. And we couldn't talk about variant covers without mentioning Jim Lee's current work on Tom King's Batman and Catwoman miniseries. I'm gonna be honest, the miniseries is a huge disappointment, not Tom King's best work at all, but I couldn't say no to these Jim Lee variant covers. The miniseries should have 12 issues. It still hasn't ended, but here we have issue number 5, number 6, again, just amazing work. Number 7, and the final issue from my collection, issue number 8. I need to go back and get issues 9 and 10, but this is all I have from Jim Lee and Batman and Catwoman. Speaking of disappointments, here we have DC's return to the Batman Black and White series. Definitely not as good as their first run, but I do have issue number 1 here with the amazing cover by Greg Capullo. Something that is definitely not a disappointment. Jeff Loeb returned together with Jim Lee for their Batman The Long Halloween with this amazing special from last year. I absolutely love the original Long Halloween. I loved this special. Great read up prior to the Batman movie. Also not a disappointment, Batman The Three Jokers. Geoff Johns had this series in the works for like 5 years. Last year we finally got to read it, and I would say it couldn't have lived up to its hype, but it was still a great series, and especially the art. I mean, even if you didn't like the story, you couldn't deny Jason Fabok's work on this. This was the best drawn Batman I've seen. Probably controversial, but since Jim Lee, I mean, even better than Capullo here. And here we have the variant covers for the 3 issues showing our heroes. Jason Fabok also did the standard covers for showing the 3 Jokers and a ton of other variant covers, but I only managed to get the hero editions. And rounding up this video, not really Batman, per se, as this is more of a Harley Quinn story, hence the title. Still, Sean Gordon Murphy is doing an amazing job with his White Knight universe, and here we have his Harley Quinn miniseries, mainly written by Katana Collins with great art by Matteo Scalera. This miniseries has 6 issues, and I actually have all of them. Sean Gordon Murphy doing these amazing variant covers for them, but even without this, this is definitely a must buy and a must read. Also hyping up his own return to the White Knight universe with his third book in the series coming up next month, I think. Here we have issue number 6. Great cover again, it's just so good. And as a bonus, we couldn't have Batman without the Joker, and here we have the Joker one-shot by John Carpenter, a huge surprise, amazing comic book. The Year of the Villain stuff that DC did a couple of years ago didn't quite pan out. They were mostly misses there, but this Joker one-shot is absolutely amazing. You should definitely try to get it and read it. And that was it for my Batman collection video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope we'll all enjoy the new Batman movie, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.